Why do people have problems? It's very simple. It's because they try and solve them. If they're willing to accept them, then it wouldn't be a problem. A problem's only a problem if you don't want it to be there. So as soon as you try and solve it, it cements the fact that it's a problem. If you then have difficulty overcoming it, you've got two problems. The original problem and the difficulty with overcoming it. If you then get anxious about that, you've got three problems. So it escalates. So it's about attachment. And so way back then, I think that's probably what I was thinking, or what my unconscious was thinking. And again, it's a kind of a Buddhist thing, really. If you attach to something, you make it real. If you don't attach to it, it has no power. And so the people have problems because they attach to them. And they maintain them because they try to overcome them using the same limited ways of doing it. They keep banging their head on the wall. But that's why they go to a therapist.
Something Erickson said was that he was asked, why do patients come to you? And he said, because they've got rigid thinking, and I just need to help them to be flexible. Because they're just going over the same pattern over and over again rather than trying a new pattern.
Therapy is like a kind of a professional version of talking to your neighbour over the fence. People share a problem over the fence, and it's because the person listening is not them, and may be able to throw some light on what to do in terms of, try this, or did you do that, etc. So that's what therapy is about.
What led you to set up a free online course? Because obviously the internet's been around for a while now, and technology obviously is always advancing, but there wasn't really anything quite like that at the time that you went and threw it out into the world. And it's not just a short little thing. It's not like I'll send you a couple of email lessons every now and then. It's a full interactive.
It's a degree standard.
It's a very
1 year online course.
As I was saying earlier on in conversations outside, I wrote 100,000 words doing the online course. So it's something that you can get very absorbed in, and with all the interactions, and all the other brains working on it, it's a wonderful course. It's something that you can benefit a lot from. But what led you to have something wonderful and say, there you go, world, rather than say, this is wonderful so people can pay me for it?
It goes back to why you're in that business. Why are you working as a therapist? It's to transform lives. And again, it's not the individual, it's the people beyond the individual. So the therapists I teach will then make a difference in the world. I realised that there were people in the world who were working therapeutically, probably very committed therapists, who could never afford to come on a course. And they don't have any resources in their country, maybe. And I've had a lot of feedback from people like that who've been on that course, and it's changed their lives in terms of how they work with their clients and patients in hospitals or whatever. So if I'd have just locked it up and said, right, okay, you have to just pay me to come on it now, and that's it. There would have been a handful of people coming on, and would have made some money. But it would have been a short-term thing, really. I don't think, it's much better just to give it away. Give the big one away. I got a lot of criticism from people who said, this is not going to work. This is the wrong thing. You shouldn't give everything away. And I said, why not? Why do you want to hold on to it if it's so good? And if it makes so much of a difference in people's lives, why hold on to it? Because, it guarantees my place in the history of hypnotherapy by doing this. And it means that I'll always have enough money to be able to eat and have shelter. I may never be a multi-millionaire by giving a huge course away. But that's not important, is it? I mean, I spent so much time in the jungle. The idea of actually being rich in that way was like I almost had a phobic response to the whole concept, because I'd left that behind, and I was not comfortable with what I left behind. It felt bad, so that's why I left. And so giving it away was the kind of a natural thing. And then, of course, what happens, people like it, and then they come and see me anyway. So now when I run a course, I have enough people, and so it's fine.
And who do you think it benefits? Because I personally think it benefits a far wider audience than if you stumbled across it, than you would think it's for. Because if you stumble across it, you think it's a hypnosis course, when actually it, as you say, benefits people working in the NHS, care workers, education workers, teachers, support staff. It is something that I think, it talks about intrapersonal, it talks about Ericksonian techniques, it talks about such a wide range of different subjects. I think it's something that would benefit virtually any professional that works with people.
Yes, because again, it comes back to why we're doing it. I think there's a strong emphasis that runs through the course that I've placed there, which is it challenges people. Why are you doing this? You know, you have to have integrity, and I've had some people who can't stand the integrity, and it sounds bizarre. I had an email today from someone who just did not feel this was the course for them, because they felt that a hypnotherapist's job was to shout commands at people and make them do things. He said to me, people need to be told to do things, otherwise they won't do them. They shouldn't be whispered to like a little girl. That's his email. But it was actually quite offensive email. But I thought it was quite humorous. But I feel sad, not for him, but I feel sad for the people who may not benefit, because he could have actually had these as additional skills to his shouting. And it's nice to have a choice.
That reminds me a little bit of the Ericsson client that was saying to Ericsson, he used to boom out commands at everyone, and he was saying to Ericsson, why does no one ever go into a trance with me? And Ericsson said, I want you tonight to sit in front of the mirror and hypnotise yourself, booming out commands at the mirror. And he did it. He went into a trance for about 8 hours, and then he came in the next day and said, I don't want to inflict an 8-hour trance on anyone that gives in on me. So Ericsson said, well, have you thought about trying something a bit different then? So it sort of reminds me of that some people just get this rigid thinking style of what they should do and don't think about what else they could do.
Yeah. I think that the online course has this thread running through it, and that's about that we should be caring, we should be compassionate, that we should be putting the client first, and not trying to get the client to fit in a particular model or way of working. We should be willing to be flexible enough to change the way we work to meet the needs of the client. And this is why that course can spread through lots of other professions, because that's exactly what all of the caring professions need. It's some flexibility, some care. I mean, take nursing. Nursing used to be, in the UK, nursing in the 50s used to be about care. And nice little jolly nurses coming around and tucking you in and giving you lots of love, basically, and being very caring. They haven't got time. Now, they're too busy filling in forms and running around. They run. Nurses run now. Before, they had time. And so the course teaches a lot. It doesn't mean that it doesn't get round the problem of admin and stuff, but it teaches you some of those essential skills again, which are important for the health field.